Good morning to all of you. So today we are going to start a new topic, that is cardiogenic shock. I started the topic of shock with one video of compensatory mechanism. Then in the last class we have studied about hypovolemic shock. I hope all of you have understood the hypovolemic shock. Now this is another type of shock which is called as cardiogenic. So from the word itself we know that this is all related to some problems with the heart. Now this is a case scenario. Mr. Patton was admitted due to myocardial infarction. 2 hours after the admission, his skin became cold and clammy. Latest BP shows that the systolic blood pressure has decreased. The heart rate has increased. The respiratory rate has also increased, and urinary output is decreasing. So these findings indicate that Mr. Patton is experiencing cardiogenic shock due to myocardial infarction. Okay, so this is just a case scenario to help you to understand about cardiogenic shock. Now, what is cardiogenic shock? Cardiogenic shock is also called as pump failure. We know that the left ventricle contracts, then we get blood to all parts of the body. But if that pump is failed, then the issue is the availability of oxygenated blood is not there. Second is, if the pump has failed, the blood which has to move from the right ventricle into the lungs, even that is affected. So when less blood is going, that means less blood is pumping. Okay, so cardiogenic shock is a condition of diminished cardiac output that severely impairs the cardiac perfusion. Okay, so here cardiac perfusion, we know that it is we know that the heart is supplied by coronary arteries. Heart has 3 layers: the pericardium, myocardium and the endocardium, and myocardium is the contractile unit of the heart. So the coronary arteries supplies blood to the myocardium. Okay, we have the coronary artery, the right branch, left branch, etc., which you can study. But the issue here is, suppose the most common cause of cardiogenic shock is myocardial infarction. If you have a infarct or a clot in any branch of the coronary artery, the issue is the cardiac perfusion gets disturbed. The heart muscles will not be having availability of oxygen. We are not talking of blood which is inside the left ventricle or the right ventricle, but we are talking about availability of oxygenated blood to the muscles of the heart, mainly myocardium, which is the contractile unit of the heart. So when the blood supply to the coronary arteries, especially if that is hampered, the issue is the heart muscles itself will not be getting the blood. So when heart muscles is not getting the blood, the pumping mechanism is not there, or it will be decreased to a great extent. This depends on to what extent is the blood supply hampered. Okay, so cardiogenic shock is a case of diminished cardiac output that severely impairs the cardiac perfusion. We already have studied about the meaning of cardiac output. It is the CO, cardiac output, is equal to, if you remember the formula, the heart rate into stroke volume. Okay, heart rate into stroke volume. So stroke volume will be decreased in cardiogenic shock. So naturally the cardiac output also decreases, because the availability of oxygenated blood into the heart muscles is decreased. So this severely impairs the cardiac perfusion. This usually reflects a severe left-sided failure. Okay, because we know that from the left side of the heart, aorta arises, and aorta supplies blood to the all parts of the body. But if there is a left-sided failure, that means if the left ventricle is not contracting properly, the amount of oxygen which is supplied to the heart itself and other part of the body is also affected. And we know that coronary arteries are the first branch of the aorta. Now, cardiogenic, what is the definition? Cardiogenic shock is a medical emergency resulting from inadequate blood flow due to dysfunction of the ventricles of the heart. So, this we have already now, we know that it is an emergency condition where this occurs because there is inadequate blood flow. Inadequate blood flow, and this occurs due to the dysfunction of the ventricles of the heart. Another definition is shock resulting from failure of the heart to pump an adequate amount of blood as a result of heart disease and especially heart attack. So this can occur due to heart disease also, which we called as cardiomyopathy, and also heart attack is myocardial infarction. Okay, so this results from a failure of the heart to pump an adequate amount of blood. Just in the previous slide, I was talking about stroke volume, the amount of blood which is which comes out of the left ventricle into the aorta with each contraction of the left ventricle, that is stroke volume. So here is the stroke volume is decreased. Okay, so this stroke volume is decreased because of maybe heart disease or maybe heart attack or myocardial infarction. So it is an emergency condition. Now this is the pathophysiology. The myocardium is unable to contract insufficiently. Okay, sorry, this should be sufficiently. Okay, so this will, when the myocardium is unable to contract properly, so this will lead to inadequate cardiac output. That is, we know that CO is equal to stroke volume into heart rate. So stroke volume here is decreased. Heart rate is increased due to compensatory mechanism. After the shock enters, heart rate is increased, but finally CO is still reduced. Why? Because instead of 70 ml, we may have 20, 30, 40. We will depend on the severity of the problems. Stroke volume decreases with each contraction. Okay, the issue is when cardiogenic shock is there, stroke volume decreases with each contraction. As soon as you have a myocardial infarction, your stroke volume may be 60, then this gradually becomes 50, 40, 30, will depend on how, so this is called as stroke volume decreases with each contraction. Now blood backs up in the weakened left ventricle. See, we know that, for example, if 70 ml has to expel or come out of the left ventricle into the aorta, 70 ml is the capacity of the left ventricle. The issue here is, instead of 70 ml, only 40 ml is going. So you have 30 ml which is remaining in the weakened left ventricle. ठीक है, 70 ml ब्लड को जाना था कहाँ से? लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल से आयोटा में, पर 70 ml के बजाय कितना जा रहा है? सिर्फ 40 ml जा रहा है. तो कितना ml बचा? 30 ml. सो दैट 30 ml बचा हुआ है कहाँ पर? वीकेंड लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल में. सो 30 ml यहाँ बच गया. 30 ml बच गया तो दिस विल कॉज पूलिंग ऑफ द ब्लड इन लेफ्ट एट्रियम. लेफ्ट एट्रियम से सो जो 70 ml आना था लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल में, वो पूरा नहीं आ पा रहा. वाई? क्योंकि ऑलरेडी वहाँ पे 30 ml बचा हुआ है. सो दिस विल लीड टू पूलिंग इन द लेफ्ट एट्रियम ऑल्सो. जब लेफ्ट एट्रियम में पूलिंग हो जाएगा तो लंग्स से ठीक से ब्लड नहीं आ पाएगा. सो पल्मोनरी कंजेशन, एज ब्लड कैन नॉट बी शंटेड फ्रॉम द लंग्स to the right atrium fully. Okay, so there will be pulmonary congestion because of the backflow of the blood. Okay, now there is diminished stroke volume. So when there is diminished stroke volume, coronary artery perfusion and collateral blood flow is decreased. Okay, coronary artery, I have already told you, coronary artery is the first branch of aorta. Okay, so coronary artery perfusion will be decreased because the amount of blood which is coming through the left ventricle is less. So 70 ml आ रहा था, अभी 40 ml is only coming. तो कम ब्लड ही कोरोनरी आर्टरी में जाएगा. जब कम ब्लड कोरोनरी आर्टरी में जाएगा, दिस विल लीड टू डिक्रीज इन कोरोनरी आर्टरी परफ्यूजन एंड कोलैटरल ब्लड फ्लो इज ऑल्सो डिक्रीज्ड. So what is the issue? There is increase in the heart's workload and enhance the left-sided heart failure. So what, because the blood is not pumped properly, so the heart tries, or the left ventricle tries to increase the pumping. Okay, so this causes increase in the heart's workload, and this also causes left sided heart failure. So because of the diminished stroke volume, finally this leads to myocardial hypoxia. The myocardium is getting less oxygen blood supply. So again, when the myocardium is getting less blood supply, the cardiac output still decreases. Okay, see, you remember coronary arteries are having a infarct or a clot. Okay, so the myocardium is not pumping, the myocardium is not getting enough blood supply. So when the myocardium is not getting enough blood supply, the contractility decreases. So when the contractility decreases, this further causes decreased cardiac output, and this leads to triggering of compensatory mechanism to prevent decompensation and death. This we have already discussed, what are the compensatory mechanism. Okay, so this was the pathophysiology of the cardiogenic shock. Okay, now what is the statistics? Cardiogenic shock could be fatal if left untreated. Fatal matlab it can cause death if it is not treated, and cardiogenic shock requires prompt treatment. So it occurs as a serious complication in 5 to 10% of the patient hospitalized with myocardial infarction. Okay, so myocardial infarction जिसको हो रहा है उसको cardiogenic shock होने का chances है 5 to 10%. Mortality has been 80 to 90%, but mortality I'm talking about if the person is having cardiogenic shock, so mortality of the death rate is 80 to 90%. But now we have good techniques, treatment techniques available. Thrombolytics are available. We give streptokinase. Then we have improved interventional procedures, and better therapies are there. And so that is why from 80 to 90% it is 56 to 67%. Now is incidence of cardiogenic shock is more in men as compared to women, because of coronary artery diseases higher in men as compared to women. The issue is that. Now what are the causes? The most common cause is myocardial infarction. Okay, so this is you can see this myocardial infarction where you have a blockage due to, or less, see here it is a block is there. Okay, due to atherosclerosis. So regardless of the underlying cause, left ventricular dysfunction sets in motion a series of compensatory mechanism that attempts to increase the cardiac output, but later on leads to deterioration. Okay, so we know that myocardial infarction is caused due to a blockage. Okay, so caused due to an infarct. So the here is, regardless of the underlying cause, whichever cause may be of the myocardial infarction, we know that the left ventricle is not functioning properly. So this causes a series of compensatory mechanism, this which somehow tries to increase. We have already studied what are the compensatory mechanism, and one of the effect of compensatory mechanism is the increased heart rate. So the our body tries to increase the cardiac output, but finally if it is not treated properly, it finally leads to deterioration. मतलब condition और बुरा हो जाएगा. Next is end stage cardiomyopathy. So these are the acquired or hereditary disease of the heart. Okay, so because of the heart is diseased, so there is the heart is unable to pump the blood, enough blood for the system, and causes cardiogenic shock. यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम क्या है? कोरोनरी आर्टरीज. दीज आर द कोरोनरी आर्टरीज. कोरोनरी आर्टरीज आर हैविंग infarct, because of which myocardial infarction. There is no issue with coronary artery, but the heart itself is having diseases. So these are called as cardiac myopathy. So when the heart itself is diseased, the pumping is affected. So when the pumping is affected, the cardiogenic shock sets in. Next is myocardial ischemia. Myocardial ischemia is also called as coronary artery disease. So or CAD, coronary artery disease or CAD or myocardial ischemia is same thing. So compensatory mechanism may initially stabilize the patient, but later this may cause deterioration with the rising demands of oxygen of the already compromised myocardium. Already compromised means, see here you have a blocked blood flow because of the rupture in the wall. So this black area is these damaged tissue because the coronary artery is affected. So when the coronary artery has a blockage here, so the area to which it is supplying is damaged. So this leads to myocardial ischemia. Now, what are the signs and symptoms? Clammy skin. The patient experiences cool clammy skin as the blood could not circulate properly to the peripheries. We know that we have already tried to explain in hypovolemic shock what is cool and clammy. Cool is a cold skin. Clammy is a thin film of sweat which comes in. Okay, so this we can see and feel in the arms and legs. So because the blood is not circulating properly in the peripheries. Second is decreased systolic BP. So the systolic BP decreases to 30 mg below baseline. Okay, systolic BP, we know that normal BP is 120 by 80, out of which 120 is a systolic BP. So instead of 120, this will be less than the baseline. Baseline मतलब patient का जो भी normal blood pressure है उसमें से the BP will be now less than 30 mg, मतलब उतना गिरावट आ जाएगा. Next is tachycardia. The heart rate increases because of the compensatory mechanism. So tachycardia occurs because the heart pumps faster than normal to compensate for decreased cardiac output. Okay, so the heart rate increases. So this is sinus tachycardia. Then respiratory rate also increases as a compensatory mechanism. The patient experiences rapid and shallow. See, rapid is increase in rate. Shallow is depth, which shows a shallow मतलब ज़्यादा deep respiration नहीं है, that is shallow. So anything which is working faster will be shallow. तो respiration जो पहले नॉर्मल रेस्पिरेशन था पर अभी फास्ट रेट हो रहा है. जब फास्ट रेट होगा तो आप देखेंगे कि पेशेंट का रेस्पिरेशन उतना डीप नहीं है, फास्ट हो रहा है, ले रहा है सांस तुरंत छोड़ रहा है, ले रहा है सांस तुरंत छोड़ रहा है. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज rapid and shallow. Rapid is increased heart rate and shallowness shows the less depth of respiration. Okay, and this is because there is not enough oxygen. We know that the blood, when it is filtered in the kidney, then only urine will be formed. Now you have a stage of cardiogenic shock, and when the patient is catheterized, you can measure the hourly urine output. So you will find the patient is having oliguria, which is less than 20 ml per hour. Okay, so this is so whenever we have a patient who is catheterized and in cardiogenic shock, we should assess the amount of urine passed per hour so that we can know whether the oliguria is there or not. So how to know less than 20 ml per hour? For example, 8 am you catheterize the patient. The patient, suppose in the Euro bag it is maybe 70 ml. For example, it was 70 ml. 9 am again you see the level. Okay, so what is less than 20? Instead of 70, if it is 90, then means it is 20 increase in 20 ml. Okay, per hour. But it is now, instead of 90, it is only 80 or maybe 85. So that is less than 20 ml per hour. Is it clear? हर घंटे में यूरिन आउटपुट देखिए, पहला यूरिन आउटपुट और सेकेंड यूरिन आउटपुट को माइनस करिए. माइनस करने से अगर 20 से कम आ रहा है, then that means it is oliguria and output of less than 20 ml per hour. Next is mental confusion. Okay, mental confusion, insufficient oxygen to blood in the brain could gradually cause mental confusion. We know that ब्रेन का भी ब्लड सप्लाई ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन द pumping of the left ventricle. If the heart is not functioning properly, the brain is also not going to get the sufficient blood supply. So when the brain is not getting sufficient blood supply, the patient gets confused. And obdentation. So what is obdentation? This is reduced alertness or consciousness. Abdentation is reduced alertness and consciousness. Okay, we have studied how to assess the level of consciousness by time, place and person. We ask the name of the person, which time it is, where are the where is the patient lying. If the patient is able to tell this correctly, that means his consciousness level is normal. Okay, but here because of insufficient blood supply, there will be obdentation, that is there will be reduced alertness and consciousness. See, this is a case of cyanosis. Can you see this bluish discoloration? Okay, so cyanosis occurs because there is insufficient oxygenated blood to all parts of the body. Okay, now auscultation, we have to use see here auscultation is there. So auscultation is used by is done by using a stethoscope. So auscultation will detect a gallop rhythm, faint heart sounds and hollow systolic murmur if the shock results from rupture of ventricular septum or papillary muscles. Okay, so you will find, suppose if the papillary muscles are ruptured. Now what are papillary muscles? Papillary muscles are 5 in number, which are present in heart. We know that we have a bicuspid valve and tricuspid valve. Bicuspid valve is present in between right atrium, between the left atrium and left ventricle, and tricuspid valve is present between the right atrium and right ventricle. So this bicuspid and tricuspid is as having two cusps or semi-lunar structures. Okay, semi-lunar matlab half moon structures. Okay, and in tricuspid you have 3 semi-lunar structures. So these valves, ये bicuspid और tricuspid valve में muscles attached है. ठीक है, सो दीज मसल्स आर कॉल्ड एज पैपिलरी मसल्स. ये पैपिलरी मसल्स का काम क्या है? इट डज नॉट अलाउ द बैक फ्लो ऑफ ब्लड. जैसे लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल लेफ्ट एट्रियम से लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल में ब्लड आया तो बाइकस्पिड वाल्व खुल गया, ब्लड हैज़ कम इनटू द लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल, उसके बाद बाइकस्पिड वाल्व बंद हो जाता है. ये बंद करने के लिए पैपिलरी मसल्स कम इनटू फोर्स एंड दिस डज नॉट अलाउ बैक फ्लो. बैक फ्लो मतलब जो ब्लड लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल में आया है दैट ब्लड विल नॉट बी गोइंग टू द लेफ्ट एट्रियम. सिमिलरली फ्रॉम right ventricle to the right atrium. So these are called as papillary muscles. If suppose if there is rupture of ventricular septum, ventricular septum मतलब right ventricle और left ventricle के बीच का septum अगर rupture हो गया है, so this what you will find, you will detect a gallop rhythm, then faint heart sound. Now what is gallop rhythm? So these are 3 to 4 sounds which are resembling a gallop. Gallop मतलब हमको मालूम है घोड़ा चलने का आवाज को is called as gallop. Okay, so 3 to 4 sounds resembling a gallop, and this is caused by atrium forcing back pressure. Gallop rhythm is caused by atrium where the blood is forced back from a incompletely emptied ventricle. उसका क्या मतलब है? We know that cardiogenic shock, the blood, I was talking about the reduced stroke volume. Okay, stroke volume reduce हो गया है तो you have backflow of blood. So when you have backflow of blood, कहाँ पर? ventricles में. ठीक है, so when you have blood remaining in the ventricles, so what occurs is, so blood remaining in ventricles can occur due to, अभी हमने causes सारे पढ़े. ठीक है, among them one of the causes is also if the papillary muscles are damaged, or if there is rupture of the ventricular septum, or so what occurs here is गैलप रिथम कब आपको सुनाई देगा? जब ऑलरेडी ब्लड लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल में बचा हुआ है या राइट वेंट्रिकल में बचा हुआ है. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज द ब्लड has a backflow of blood into the left atrium. Okay, left ventricle का blood left atrium में backflow हो रहा है. So this causes, stethoscope से आपको gallop rhythm सुनाई देगा. Then we have faint heart sounds. Heart sounds commonly it is S1 and S2. S1 कौन सा heart sound है? This is closure of atrioventricular valves. Atrioventricle कौन सा है? Bicuspid और tricuspid valve. So this causes S1 sound. और S2 कौन सा है? Aortic and pulmonary artery sounds. So ये जब ये sounds क्या रहेगा? This will be faint. बहुत मुश्किल से सुनाई देगा. There will be hollow systolic murmur. What is hollow systolic murmur? It will start, murmurs we know are abnormal heart sounds. Okay, so murmurs will start at S1 and extend up to S2. So this is caused due to regurgitation of tricuspid valve, and this also this is also seen in ventricular septal defect. Okay, so here is होलोसिस्टोलिक मर्मर. होलोसिस्टोलिक मर्मर को हम पैनसिस्टोलिक भी बोलते हैं. ये कब स्टार्ट होगा? दिस विल स्टार्ट एट S1 एंड एंड एट S2. ये कब होगा? सो बिकॉज ऑफ ट्राइकस्पिड रिगर्जिटेशन. ओके, दिस ऑल्सो साउंड यू कैन हियर. Now pulmonary artery pressure may show an increase. Suppose if you are able to monitor the pulmonary artery pressure, so this will be increased. The normal pulmonary artery pressure is 18 to 25 millimeter of mercury, 18 to 25 millimeter of mercury, and mean pulmonary pressure is 12 to 16 mm of Hg. Okay, so in my cardiogenic shock you will have a increase in mean pulmonary pressure and pulmonary artery pressure. Pulmonary artery pressure है 18 to 25 mm of Hg and mean pulmonary pressure is 12 to 16 mm of Hg. ठीक है. फिर है arterial pressure monitoring. मैंने आपको बताया था arterial pressure is हमारा जो blood pressure. ठीक है, but we measure blood pressure externally, पर we can also measure by using an invasive. So invasive arterial pressure monitoring may indicate hypotension due to impaired ventricular ejection. Okay, so intra-arterial catheters present है, जिसको हम arterial cannula भी बोलते हैं, A lines भी बोलते हैं, A, capital A, okay, lines, and this is inserted for invasive blood pressure monitoring. Okay, so arterial lines, okay, arterial lines या A lines या तो arterial cannulas are available which are intra-arterial catheters. Intra मतलब inside, artery मतलब inside the artery. So we introduce कैथेटर्स इनसाइड द आर्टरी, तो जिससे हमको क्या पता चलेगा? आर्टरी के अंदर का ब्लड प्रेशर कितना है. ओके, सो दिस ये अगर ऐसा है तो देन वी विल फाइंड दैट देयर विल बी हाइपोटेंशन, मीन डिक्रीज बीपी विल बी देयर ड्यू टू वेंट्रिकुलर impaired ventricular ejection. Now ABG analysis. So ABG analysis may show metabolic acidosis and hypoxia. ठीक है. Arterial blood gas analysis आपने देखा होगा, I hope so. Suppose if you have not seen, then please you can see any YouTube video on arterial blood gas analysis. We have to introduce the syringe in the artery, not in the vein. ठीक है. हम लोग normally हम क्या say this is, देखो radial artery से the blood is being taken. Okay, so this is arterial blood gas analysis. Okay, so arterial blood gas analysis के report में what you will find is HCO3 या bicarbonate, this will normal is between 22 to 26 millimoles per liter. Millimoles per liter. Normal कितना है? 22 to 26. So in metabolic acidosis due to cardiogenic shock, you will find HCO3 minus is less than 22 millimoles per liter. HCO3 minus is less than 22 millimoles per liter. ठीक है, ये metabolic acidosis हो जाता है इसमें. So this will the values will be less than 22 millimoles per liter. ठीक है. हाइपॉक्सिया भी पता चलेगा। आर्टीरियल ब्लड गैस में वी फाइंड PaO2 PaCO2 ये सब पता चलेगा। हाइपॉक्सिया में यू विल फाइंड कि PaO2 विल बी लेस देन 80 mm of Hg। ओके, हाइपॉक्सिया में विल बी लेस देन 80 mm of Hg। तो आपको समझ में आ गया। ABG एनालिसिस में यू बेसिकली हियर सी फॉर टू वैल्यूज, एक है HCO3 माइनस, सो HCO3 माइनस विल बी लेस देन 22 मिलीमोल्स पर लीटर, एंड सेकेंड विल बी हाइपॉक्सिया PaO2 आपको लेस देन 80 mm of Hg मिलेगा। ओके, देन वी टेक अ ECG। ECG से हमको क्या क्या पता चलेगा? एक्यूट MI में कॉजेज ECG चेंजेस, इस्कीमिक चेंजेस यू विल फाइंड, और वेंट्रिकुलर एन्यूरिज्म। वेंट्रिकुलर एन्यूरिज्म का मतलब क्या है? एन्यूरिज्म इज अ बल्जिंग। किस में हो सकता है? ब्लड वेसल्स में भी हो सकता है, हार्ट के मसल्स जो लाइनिंग है, ओके, लाइनिंग ऑफ द हार्ट, सो उसमें भी बल्जिंग हो सकता है। तो बोथ आर कॉल्ड वेंट्रिकुलर एन्यूरिज्म, मतलब वेंट्रिकल्स में एन्यूरिज्म हो सकता है। तो एन्यूरिज्म का मतलब है बल्जिंग। सो बल्जिंग कैन ऑल्सो कॉज इन ब्लड वेसल, दिस कैन ऑल्सो कॉज इन लाइनिंग, बट हियर वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट वेंट्रिकुलर एन्यूरिज्म, मतलब वेंट्रिकुलर वॉल्स में अब बल्जिंग हो रहा है। ठीक है, दिस बल्जिंग इज कॉमन आफ्टर मायोकार्डियल इन्फार्क्शन। ओके, सो दिस ऑल्सो कैन बी फाउंड बाय ECG changes. This also caused ECG changes. Echocardiography can, देखो, this is a echocardiography machine. ठीक है, so this is a non-invasive machine where you can where you have red color for arterial supply and blue color for venous supply. All these things we have already discussed in the previous hypovolemic shock. So echocardiogram से क्या पता चलेगा? Left ventricular function. We was talking about the ejection capacity. ठीक है, ejection कितना percentage है? So that can be found by echocardiography. And apart from that, whether there is valvular abnormalities. ठीक है, valve ठीक से काम कर रहा है कि नहीं. See, we were talking about backflow of blood. तो ये सब चीज़ हम echocardiography से पता कर सकते हैं. Then is we have enzyme levels. So first is LDH, lactate dehydrogenase. LDH is lactate dehydrogenase. So lactate dehydrogenase is an enzyme which is involved in energy production, and this is found in heart, liver, etc. Maximum it is present in heart. Normal LDH value is between 140 to 280 units per liter. 140 to 280 units per liter. अगर LDH high मिल रहा है, so this indicates that there is tissue breakdown. There is tissue breakdown of the heart. Okay. Next is creatinine kinase, जिसको हम CKMB बोलते हैं. Okay. So CKMB is found exclusively in myocardium. CKMB, LDH you will find in heart, liver, etc. But CKMB is exclusively, कहाँ पे पता चलेगा? myocardium में ही है ये. ठीक है, so this is found exclusively in myocardium, and ये अगर myocardium injury है, so this is spilled into the bloodstream. Okay, तो अगर creatinine kinase high है, so this indicates myocardial cell wall injury. मैंने आपको पहले एक स्लाइड बताया था जिसमें I was talking about myocardial ischemia. तो मैंने दिखाया if the coronary arteries are having a block, so what is the areas distal to that coronary artery, वो एरिया जहाँ पे वो coronary artery सप्लाई कर रहा था, वहाँ पर there will be tissue damage. Okay, so this tissue damage कितना हुआ? This will be creatinine kinase CKMB. ठीक है, creatinine kinase MB, that is the name of the enzyme, isoenzyme of creatinine kinase. So this normal value is 3 to 5%, and in international units per liter it is 5 to 25 IU per liter. Okay, normal is 3 to 5%, or yeah, 5 to 25 international unit per liter. So creatinine kinase is an enzyme which catalyzes the conversion of phosphocreatine. Phosphocreatine क्या है? It is the energy reservoir for regeneration of ATP and degrading ATP to ADP. ठीक है, adenosine triphosphate इज स्टोर्ड एज एडिनोसिन डाइफॉस्फेट। तो जब एनर्जी चाहिए तो हम क्या करते हैं, ADP को ATP में कन्वर्ट कर लेते हैं, बिकॉज ATP इज द फॉर्म ऑफ एनर्जी व्हाट वी वांट। ओके, सो CKMB हेल्प्स इन स्टोरेज ऑफ एनर्जी एंड द एंजाइम which is response which converts which degrades ATP to ADP. Okay, तो ये है creatine kinase which is formed, simple words में creatinine kinase MB is found exclusively in myocardium, और अगर मायोकार्डियम इंजर हो गया है, मायोकार्डियम इंजर कब होगा, सो इन केसेस ऑफ कार्डियोजेनिक शॉक वी हैव लर्नड दैट जो भी मसल्स में वो कोरोनरी आर्टरी सप्लाई कर रहा था वहाँ पे इंजरी हो जाएगा। ओके, सो कैसे पता चलेगा, वी सी फॉर द लेवल ऑफ CKMB नॉर्मल इज 3 to 5% और in international units it is 5 to 25 IU per liter. So here it will be increased. उसको छोड़ के then we have SGOT and SGPT, aspartate aminotransferase, ठीक है, aspartate aminotransferase is SGOT, ठीक है, SGOT भी बोलते हैं इसको। So SGOT is full form is serum glutamic oxaloacetic transaminase, serum glutamic oxaloacetic transaminase SGOT। ओके, तो इसका नॉर्मल वैल्यू है 5 to 40 यूनिट्स पर लीटर, इसका नॉर्मल वैल्यू है, एंड दिस इज फाउंड इन ऑल दी सेल्स ऑफ अवर बॉडी, स्पेशली द लिवर। ओके, पर SGOT जो है वो दिस myocardial infarction में this will be increased, पर SGPT, okay, so this alanine transferase is SGPT, that is serum glutamic pyruvic transaminase, serum glutamic pyruvic transaminase. So this will be normal in myocardial infarction. So SGPT will be normal, SGO2 will be raised in myocardial infarction. Okay, SGPT तभी बढ़ेगा अगर लिवर इन्वॉल्व है, नहीं तो अदरवाइज दैट विल रिमेन नॉर्मल। Then we have cardiac troponins. Now what are cardiac troponins? Cardiac troponin are regulatory proteins within the myocardium which are released into the circulation when damage to the myocyte. Myocyte मतलब myocardium के cells को we called as myocyte has occurred. Okay, तो cardiac troponins they are regulatory proteins, कहाँ पर present है, एक एक myocardium के cell में present है, which are called as myocyte, और अगर इंजुरी हुआ तो this are released into the bloodstream. Okay, so raised troponin levels indicate cardiac muscle death. For troponin concentration 0.40 nanograms per ml or higher, the underlying cardiac injury is usually a myocardial infarction. ठीक है, 0.40 nanogram per ml से अगर ज़्यादा वैल्यू मिल रहा है, this indicates myocardial infarction, and myocardial infarction is one of the major causes of cardiogenic shock. Now how to manage? We have to give oxygen. We have now studied ये सारे cause से problem क्या हो रहा है, the left ventricle से जितना blood निकलना था वो नहीं हो रहा है, and cardiac output is decreased. So we know that there is availability of less oxygen, तो हमको oxygen देना पड़ेगा to minimize the damage to the muscles and organs. Next is we go for angioplasty. Okay, now what is angioplasty? This is a tiny balloon catheter which is introduced into the blocked vessel to widen and improve the blood circulation. एंजियोप्लास्टी का मतलब क्या है, एक बैलून कैथेटर को हम इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं जहाँ पर ब्लॉकेज है, एंड सी दिस इज स्टेंटिंग, दिस इज अ डायग्राम ऑफ स्टेंटिंग। आप देखो यहाँ पे ब्लॉकेज था तो आप क्या किए, ये बैलून कैथेटर को इंट्रोड्यूस किए, एंड वी हैव अ स्टेंट, अगर जरूरत पड़े तो स्टेंट, दिस इज अ मैश लाइक स्ट्रक्चर, तो इससे क्या होगा, ब्लड फिर आसानी से इसमें से चले जाएगा। सो दिस इज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड। Next is pain control. Pain controls and myocardial infarction causes severe chest pain, ये तो हमको पता ही है। Okay, so IV morphine is administered for pain relief. Then hemodynamic monitoring is to be done. So for hemodynamic monitoring, our arterial line is inserted to enable accurate and continuous monitoring of BP and provides a port from which to obtain frequent arterial blood samples. ठीक है, तो हम लोग arterial line डाल देते हैं। ठीक है, so this arterial line is inserted, तो इससे क्या होगा, we can have actual BP monitoring एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट इसमें एक पोर्ट भी रहेगा जिसमें से वी कैन हैव आर्टीरियल ब्लड सैंपल्स, बिकॉज ABG मॉनिटरिंग इज टू बी डन, सो यू कैन हैव ब्लड सैंपल्स. Fluid therapy will be, this has to be monitored very closely to detect signs of fluid overload. If fluid overload का क्या sign and symptoms we have already discussed in hypovolemic shock. Okay. Now with pharmacological therapy में we need to give IV dopamine. ठीक है. So this is a vasopressor. This increases cardiac output, blood pressure एंड रीनल ब्लड फ्लो. ठीक है. अभी हमने बताया था कॉम्पनसेटरी मैकेनिज्म, इफ़ यू डोंट मैनेज, वो जो अभी BP थोड़ा कुछ बढ़ गया था, सो दैट विल ऑल कम डाउन बिकॉज ऑफ दीज इश्यूज. सो टू इंक्रीज BP वी गिव डोपामिन. दिस इज अ वैसोप्रेसर. इससे कार्डियक आउटपुट भी बढ़ जाएगा, ब्लड प्रेशर भी बढ़ जाएगा. ब्लड प्रेशर कार्डियक आउटपुट बढ़ने से बढ़ेगा ही बढ़ेगा, बिकॉज व्हाट इज ब्लड प्रेशर? इट इज़ द अमाउंट ऑफ प्रेशर एक्सर्टेड बाय ब्लड ऑन द वॉल्स ऑफ द आर्टरी. ब्लड कम आर्टरीज में रहेगा तो कम BP रहेगा. जब आप डोपामिन देंगे तो ब्लड प्रेशर बढ़ रहा है, सो द कार्डियक आउटपुट बढ़ रहा है. सी कार्डियक आउटपुट इज इंक्रीजिंग एंड दिस नेचुरली विल कॉज इंक्रीज BP. एंड जो ओलिग्यूरिया था उसमें आपको डिफरेंस आ जाएगा. ओके. आपका 8 AM में इट वाज 70 ml, 9 AM में आपका 85 ml आया. बट वंस यू गिव डोपामिन आप ये देखेंगे कि यूरिन आउटपुट और बढ़ रहा है. ओके. इफ़ यू हैव अ hourly recording. So this causes, these are the effect. Okay. Next is IV dobutamine. Dobutamine is a inotropic agents. Inotropic agents are those agents which change the force of heart contraction. ठीक है. Change the force of heart contraction मतलब प्रेशर बढ़ाना और प्रेशर घटाना. प्रेशर बढ़ाना है आपको, सो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज पॉजिटिव आइनोट्रॉप्स. ओके. इसको हम क्या कहते हैं? पॉजिटिव आइनोट्रॉप. अगर प्रेशर घटाना है दे आर नेगेटिव आइनोट्रॉप्स. सो डोब्यूटामाइन इज अ पॉजिटिव आइनोट्रॉप एजेंट विच कॉजेज इंक्रीज इन मायोकार्डियल कॉन्ट्रैक्टिलिटी. आप IV डोब्यूटामाइन देंगे तो क्या हो रहा है? कॉन्ट्रैक्टिलिटी को बढ़ा रहा है. सो वी गिव डोपामीन एंड डोब्यूटामाइन. ओके. ठीक है. So this is given to the patients. We also give norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is a more potent vasoconstrictor and is taken when necessary. ठीक है. BP एकदम fall हो गया तो then we give norepinephrine. And we give nitroprusside is a vasodilator that may be used with a vasopressor to further improve the cardiac output by decreasing peripheral vascular resistance and reducing preload. देखो यहाँ पे I will like to explain this. See here अभी हमने जो पहले पढ़ा, ठीक है, डोपामीन, डोब्यूटामीन, इससे सब कॉन्ट्रैक्टिलिटी बढ़ रहा था. नॉरएपिनेफ्रिन से अगेन दिस इज अ वैसोकॉन्स्ट्रिक्टर. ओके. सो हियर इज नाइट्रोप्रोसाइड क्या है? दे आर वेसोडाइलेटर. अब ये हम नॉट नाइट्रोप्रोसाइड, तो दिस इज ओनली गिवन इन इमरजेंसी कंडीशन. Why are we using this? To decrease peripheral vascular resistance and reducing preload. देखो अभी क्या है? reducing peripheral vascular resistance मतलब अभी से क्या होगा? हाथ और पैर का blood vessels जो है वो dilate हो जाएगा. So when blood vessels in the legs and the arms they are dilated, तो वहाँ का peripheral vascular resistance decrease हो गया. तो क्या वेंस इट इज डायलेटेड तो जो ब्लड रिटर्न हो रहा है वो कम हो जाएगा. सो दैट इज रिड्यूसिंग द प्रीलोड. सो दैट इज गुड इन इमरजेंसी कंडीशन. व्हाई? बिकॉज ऑलरेडी पूलिंग ऑफ ब्लड हो रहा है. उसके साथ में अगर सुपीरियर वेना कवर इन्फीरियर वेना कवर से फुल लोड में ब्लड आएगा, द इशू इज द इशू विल बी मोर. द इशू विल बी मोर. पल्मोनरी कंजेशन भी बढ़ जाएगा, जो पूलिंग ऑफ ब्लड है वो भी सब बढ़ जाएगा. ओके. सो IV नाइट्रोप्रोसाइड इज अ वेसोडाइलेटर. इससे क्या होगा? देयर विल बी डायलेटेशन ऑफ ब्लड इन आर्म्स एंड लेग्स विच रिड्यूसेस द प्रीलोड. प्रीलोड मतलब जो फ्लो ऑफ ब्लड थ्रू सुपीरियर वेना cava and inferior vena cava आ रहा है, so that will be decreased. But remember this has to be used with a vasopressor. सिर्फ अकेले इससे काम नहीं चलेगा, we have to use with a vasopressor ताकि बैलेंस हो सके. Then we have surgical management में we have intra-aortic balloon pump IABP. I will be showing these slides how it looks like. Okay, so IABP is a mechanical assist device that attempts to improve the coronary artery perfusion and decrease the cardiac workload through a inflatable balloon pump which is percutaneously or surgically introduced through the femoral artery into the descending thoracic aorta. ठीक है, अब दिस इज अ मैकेनिकल डिवाइस, मैकेनिकल डिवाइस है, इससे दो चीज़ हो रहा है, वन इज कोरोनरी आर्टरी परफ्यूजन बढ़ रहा है. ठीक है, सो दिस इज अभी मैंने आपको पहले भी बताए थे, कोरोनरी आर्टरी में जो ब्लड सप्लाई है दैट इज बिंग हैम्पर्ड. तो IABP से क्या होगा, द कोरोनरी आर्टरी ब्लड सप्लाई इज ऑल्सो इम्प्रूव्ड. एंड सेकेंड इज द कार्डियक, दिस डिक्रीजेज द कार्डियक वर्कलोड. मैंने आपको बताया था, सो व्हेन इजेक्शन कम है तो द लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल ट्राइज टू वर्क मोर, तो इससे क्या होगा, द वर्कलोड टू द हार्ट इज ऑल्सो इज डिक्रीज. सो हाउ डू यू इंट्रोड्यूस दिस, दिस इज सर्जिकली इंट्रोड्यूस इनटू द femoral artery और मे बी percutaneous. ओके, मे बी थ्रू द femoral artery. मैं जो डायग्राम बता रही हूँ दैट इज थ्रू द femoral artery. So this is how so this ये हमको पता है. ठीक है, so this is the arch of aorta. ठीक है, this is the arch of aorta. ये है intra-aortic balloon pump. So this is how ये this is abdominal branch, right femoral, left femoral. ठीक है, तो इस तरीके से femoral से होते हुए this is introduced. Okay, ठीक है. नाउ सो दिस इज डिफ्लेट एंड इन्फ्लेट. जब डिफ्लेट होता है तो ऐसा रहेगा. ठीक है, एंड डिफ्लेट होता है कब, सिस्टोल के समय. सिस्टोल में मतलब जब हार्ट इज लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल इज कॉन्ट्रैक्टिंग, दैट इज सिस्टोल, दिस विल बी डिफ्लेटेड ताकि ब्लड यहाँ से जा सके. और जब डायस्टोल होगा सो दिस विल बी इन्फ्लेटिंग. देखो ये वाला लेफ्ट सबक्लेवियन आर्टरी है, and coronary artery is the first branch जो यहाँ से is the first branch of aorta. okay, तो ये left subclavian artery के से 2 सेंटीमीटर नीचे is this balloon and this is filled with helium gas. ठीक है, इतना आपको समझ में आया. तो ये देखो femoral से गया, ऊपर गया, और ये जो balloon है ये कहाँ पर है, लेफ्ट सबक्लेवियन आर्टरी के 2 सेंटीमीटर नीचे. तो डायस्टोल में this is inflating and systole में this is deflating, और इसमें गैस भरा है which is helium gas. okay, this is helium gas. Now intra-aortic balloon pump, same thing, this is another diagram. okay, so it's a mechanical device that increases myocardial oxygen perfusion, increases cardiac output. तो इसमें this consists of a cylindrical polyurethane balloon that sits in the aorta. okay, and 2 सेंटीमीटर फ्रॉम दी लेफ्ट, ये दिस इज लेफ्ट सबक्लेवियन आर्टरी. ठीक है, वहाँ से 2 सेंटीमीटर नीचे. एंड द बैलून इन्फ्लेट्स एंड डिफ्लेट्स बाय काउंटर पल्सेशन मतलब सिस्टोल में डिफ्लेट हो जाएगा, डायस्टोल में इन्फ्लेट हो जाएगा. ओके, नाउ डायस्टोलिक इन्फ्लेशन इंक्रीजेस फ्लो थ्रू दी कोरोनरी आर्टरीज वाया रेट्रोग्रेड फ्लो. ओके, ठीक है. नाउ डायस्टोल में ये देयर इज ये देखो डायस्टोल में सी दिस इज ड्यूरिंग डायस्टोल, और अभी आपने देखा कि ये इन्फ्लेट हो गया. तो इससे फ़ायदा क्या होगा, ये इन्फ्लेट होने के कारण जो ब्लड है बैक फ्लो हो रहा है, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज रेट्रोग्रेड ब्लड फ्लो. रेट्रोग्रेड मतलब ये इन्फ्लेट होने के कारण ये ब्लड यहाँ जो था वो बैक फ्लो हो जाएगा. जब बैक फ्लो होगा तो कोरोनरी आर्टरी में ब्लड जाएगा, कोरोनरी आर्टरी में ज़्यादा ब्लड जाएगा, तो जहाँ पर ब्लड का कमी था वो कमी पूरा हो जाएगा. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड एज रेट्रोग्रेड ब्लड फ्लो. डायस्टोल के समय ये फुल जाता है या इन्फ्लेट हो जाता है, बिकॉज ऑफ विच जो ब्लड यहाँ कलेक्टेड है वो पीछे जाता है. पीछे जाने से वी नो दैट द फर्स्ट ब्रांच विच अराइजेस फ्रॉम एओर्टा इज कोरोनरी आर्टरी. ओके, तो वहाँ पर ब्लड चले जाएगा. ठीक है. So this is diastolic inflation increases blood flow to the coronary arteries via retrograde flow. So these action combines to decrease myocardial oxygen demand. ठीक है, blood flow बढ़िया होगा तो क्या होगा, ऑक्सीजन डिमांड कम हो जाएगा, एंड नेचुरली द ऑक्सीजन सप्लाई विल बी टू द मायोकार्डियम इज मेड बेटर. फिर दिस इज ऑल यूज्ड, वी यूज अ कंप्यूटर टू कंट्रोल ऑल दिस मैकेनिज्म. ओके, एंड हीलियम इज यूज्ड. व्हाई आर वी यूजिंग हीलियम? क्योंकि हीलियम में लो डेंसिटी है. इट हैज़ अ लो डेंसिटी, मीन्स दैट इज लिटिल टर्बुलेंट फ्लो. टर्बुलेंट मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा हलचल नहीं है, सो दैट द बैलून कैन इन्फ्लेट फास्ट एंड डिफ्लेट स्लोली. ओके, so this is how it works. Now what is a nursing assessment? Vital signs तो लेना ही है. Okay, fluid overload, so we have to check, auscultate for chest sound, C for jugular veins, है ना, C for puffiness, ये सब check करेंगे. So ventricles of the heart cannot eject fully, so few fluid may accumulate in the lungs, and for that we have to auscultate the chest sounds also. Then what is the nursing diagnosis? Decreased cardiac output related to changes in myocardial contractility and inotropic changes. Inotropic means contractility is affected. So this decreased cardiac output. Second is impaired gas exchange related to changes in alveolar capillary membrane. Then excess fluid volume related to decrease in renal organ perfusion, increased sodium and water, hydrostatic pressure increase, and decrease plasma protein. So this is excess of fluid due to, because the kidneys are not functioning properly, there is increased sodium and water, the hydrostatic pressure is also increased, the plasma protein may be decreased. Ineffective tissue perfusion, and this may lead to reduction or cessation. Reduction मतलब कम हो गया, cessation मतलब stop हो गया. Acute pain related to ischemic tissue secondary to blockage or narrowing of coronary artery. ठीक है, so this can be blocked due to atherosclerosis, or it can be due to the infarct. Okay, so acute pain will be there. Then activity intolerance. क्यों? Because of any activity requires supply of oxygen, and if the heart pump is affected, the supply of oxygen is also decreased, so this leads to activity intolerance. Nursing care planning and goals: prevent recurrence of cardiogenic shock. This is our goals. Monitor hemodynamic status, administer medications and IV fluids, and maintain intra-aortic balloon counterpulsation. Counterpulsation मतलब डायस्टोलिक में इन्फ्लेट होना है और सिस्टोल में डिफ्लेट होना है. ठीक है, सो दिस वी हैव टू मेंटेन. Now what are the nursing prevention interventions? Prevent recurrence by identifying at risk patients early. ठीक है, coronary artery disease में there are a list of modifiable factors and non modifiable factors, वो आपको चेक करना है. There can be cardiomyopathies, जो भी issues है, so that has to be managed. So if the patient is hypertensive, give antihypertensives ताकि ये स्थिति ना आए. So that is called as identifying at risk patients early. Suppose we know that hypertension is a hereditary disease, so those patients who are at risk, they should get their their BP checked regularly, so that the antihypertensives can start. Okay, then they should do exercise properly, they should have a balanced diet with decreased amount of sodium. So all these things, depending on the risk factors, we have to identify. Then promote adequate oxygenation of heart muscle, and decrease cardiac workload can prevent cardiogenic shock. So suppose if it is a case of myocardial ischemia, we need to manage it well so that cardiogenic shock na chale jaye. Okay, so if you have any issues, prompt identification and management is done. Suppose if it is due to clot, then we give streptokinase, so that the clot is the size of the, or we give thrombolytics, so that the size of the clot can be decreased. Okay, so these are the different ways to prevent a recurrence. Then hemodynamic status, arterial blood lines, arterial lines, which are called as A lines, and ECG monitoring equipment must be well maintained and functioning. Changes in hemodynamic, cardiac and pulmonary status and lab values are documented and reported. We have all studied what are the LDH, CKMB, troponin, all these things, SGOT, SGPT, all these values are along with electrolytes. So all these things are noted down and reported. Adventitious breath sound. So what are adventitious breath sounds? We know that we have normal breath sounds. Any extra apart from normal breath sounds are called as adventitious breath sounds. So these adventitious breath sounds can be crackles, ronchi, and wheezing. Okay. So we talked about fluid overload. So we can hear the rails. Next is if there is changes in cardiac rhythm, then it has to be reported immediately. Okay. Next is in nursing intervention fluids, IV fluids has to be whenever you are giving IV infusion must be observed closely, because tissue necrosis and sloughing may occur if vasopressor medicines are infiltrating to the tissues, and it is also necessary to monitor the intake output. See, fluids we need to have 2-3 things. We start IV line. Why? Because we need to give the medications. If you are giving IV fluids, that has to be very, very careful, because chances of fluid overload are there, because there is already pulmonary congestion. So on the top of it, if you give IV fluids, so this can lead to fluid overload. So that has to be monitored properly. And whenever IV line is there, if you are giving as vasopressor, especially dopamine. So dopamine, if it is extra vasated, uska matlab vein se bahar chale gaya hai, so this can cause tissue necrosis, and it is very, very painful. Okay. So this, and apart from this, fluids also ये हमको check करना है. Fluid जितना बोला है उतना ही देना है. Next is the drugs, dopamine, when you are giving, you have to be careful कि extra vasation ना हो. Next is, third is we have to maintain the intake output chart. इंट्रा आयोटिक बैलून काउंटर पल्सेशन. काउंटर पल्सेशंस मैंने आपको बताया, जब डायस्टोलिक है तो इन्फ्लेट होना है, सिस्टोल हो तो डिफ्लेट होना. सो दैट हैज टू बी मेंटेन. एंड आई हैव टोल्ड यू दैट IABP is attached to a computer. So we have to maintain in such a way that the values that it is having a counter. This is functioning according to the counter pulsation, and to maximize its effectiveness by synchronizing it with the cardiac cycle. Okay. Then is enhanced safety and comfort, administering the medication to relieve chest pain, then preventing infection at multiple arterial and venous line insertion site. So infection control practices has to be maintained, sterile technique, monitoring, all these things have to be maintained, skin has to be protected, and monitoring respiratory and renal functions help in safeguarding and enhancing the comfort of the patients. Okay. So we have to hear for adventitious sounds, and we have to measure the hourly urine output. So this we can so that we can monitor the renal system also. Then ABG monitoring, I have already told you ABG monitoring has to be done to detect acidosis. I have told you HCO3 minus will be less than 22. Okay. So this is due to poor tissue perfusion. Positioning in the position, see, when the patient is having a complete bed rest, we need to give passive exercise. But one thing to remember, the leg in which IABP is attached, that should not be that should not have any passive range of motion exercises, because it can lead to displacement, or it may even fracture the catheter. Fracture means this may displace the catheter. Now, what is the evaluation? Expected outcomes are prevented recurrence of cardiogenic shock, monitored hemodynamic status, administered medications and IV fluids, maintained intra-aortic balloon counterpulsation. So this is the evaluation. Okay. Now, discharge and home care guidelines. So recurrence can be avoided by making lifestyle changes. So first is control hypertension by regular exercising, managing stress, maintaining healthy weight, and limit the salt and alcohol intake, because these are all issues by different ways by which we can control hypertension. Smoking is to be avoided, because we know that smoke contains nicotine, and nicotine is has a vasopressor effect. Okay. So this increases BP. So the risk for stroke is same for smokers and non-smokers years after you stop smoking. तो ये बहुत important है. Smoking stop भी कर लिया for many years, at least for 10 years, the risk remains same. So that is very, very important that smoking has to be avoided. So maintain a healthy weight. Losing extra pounds would be helpful in lowering the cholesterol and BP. Okay. So obese people have hypertension, so that has to be reduced, and also chances of increased cholesterol. Diet, eat less saturated fat and cholesterol to reduce heart disease. Exercise daily to lower BP, increased high density lipoproteins, and improve the overall health of blood vessels and heart. So exercise is very important, and this not only lowers the BP, but this also increases the LDL and the overall status of blood vessels and heart, because this causes a improving the circulation. So prognosis, cardiogenic shock is a leading cause of death in acute MI, and in the absence of aggressive and highly experienced technical care, mortality rate can be even up to 70 to 90%. But now, because we have prompt care available, so this rates can be decreased. So that was all about from my side related to cardiogenic shock. Hope you have understood the topic. Thank you for patient listening.